Broadcast to start. Oh, it says live.
Oh, we're live.
It says
Yay.
live.
I named this Sunday Funday. Sunday Funday. It's cool, but also slightly irritating.
Okay.
That was my title for this week.
That's secret treasure hunt stuff normally.
Oh yeah. So
Yep.
I guess the only like news I have that people need to know is that the New York meetup was moved. The location was moved off of Staten Island into Midtown. I don't remember the address. Oh, there it is. 987 2nd Avenue, New York, New York. It's near Grand Central. Matt, you should come.
I wish. I really wish. I'm going to Houston in October.
Yeah, but I'm going there too. I got permission.
In October. I'm going to Houston for a day. Or two.
Apparently, I'm going for a day too. It's only like $50 for me to fly to Houston and then back the same day. I get in like 8 o'clock in the morning. I got to leave at 8 o'clock at night.
Same day?
Yeah, same day. And it's like $50.
Oh, cool. Now, chances are I'll drive. So, because I'm going to be in San Antonio. It's a bit of a drive, but,
That's fine. I'll just meet you there. I'll grab an Uber.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I think
Bradley
fly in, but
Bradley wanted to come too, I think.
I'm good with that. I'd be fine. Where is he? He's in
North Carolina?
No, I mean tonight.
Oh, I think he's in like Pennsylvania or something tonight. It's weird. I don't know what he's doing. Visiting family, I think.
No, okay. I was going to say, does he know there is no cask in Pennsylvania?
I don't know. If you check the Facebook groups, there might be.
Yeah, maybe there is. That's true. Actually, for a long time, we thought that Cleveland was in Pennsylvania because of the Keystone.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was because of the Liberty Bell.
That and the Keystone. Come on. Yeah. It's like, how can it not be in Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Fun times back when nobody knew anything. And
nobody knew what was going on at all.
So yeah, we moved the event. Everybody seems to be really happy about the move because like Staten Island, apparently, I guess when you're not from New York, you don't realize how big of a pain in the ass it is to get 10 minutes from Manhattan.
Yeah, but it's like if the only people who really that would have interested are the people who had theory in Staten Island.
Yeah.
You know?
At least in this way, we can do it in the middle of Manhattan. Afterwards, you guys can go wherever you want.
Yeah. Well.
If you're a Battery guy, you take the sub to the Battery. If you're a Coney Island guy, you take the subway to Coney Island, wherever you want to go.
Yep. Oh, well. One of these days, I'll get out to New York and do mine.
You got to come. It's going to be cool. Like, so far, Ben and Joellen are super, super pumped about coming. They seem really excited because I don't think either of them have ever done anything like this before. John Jude is teaching. I don't know that I'm supposed to say what he's doing, but he's not far away, and he's like, I might just take a train up. It's a big might, but he's like, I might just take a train up.
Yeah. Don't want to promise anything like that.
Yeah. And Kit's gonna be there, and Andy. Could you imagine having all of them in the same room?
Yes, that would be really cool. I wish I could be there.
I think Nadine and Kim are coming. Like all kinds of people are coming, and you're not gonna be there. That's a crime.
No, I feel awful. I feel awful. I got prior commitments.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It should be fun.
I want to hear all about it.
Yeah. We're going to live stream it, so that should be nice.
That'll be cool. I'll come to the live stream.
We got like a restaurant bar because I guess so. My thing, like with the old venue, there were things that I just didn't know. Like it doesn't have any air conditioning, which I guess in October in New York isn't that big of a deal. But it also like it said that it had a kitchen, and I figured that was an operable kitchen, but it's not. It's like a kitchen you can use if you want to cook something.
Oh, okay.
There were a lot of weird, and like it was super hard to get to. So we were like, all right, we'll just do it at a restaurant in the middle of Manhattan.
Yeah, that's a much better plan anyway.
Yeah. And there's a bar, and if previous meetups or anything to go on, I'm gonna have like 70 drinks before the thing even happens. They're all like drunk. Thank you for coming to our meetup. This is Ben. He's Jewish.
Loads of fun. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. Wish I could be there. So have you planned for a meetup post that one?
No, I don't know if this is going to be it. Like,
Yeah.
in all honesty, it's a lot of number one. It's becoming a lot of trouble and really expensive to plan. Now the community put up most of the money, so that's fine. But it's becoming a lot of trouble, and like no matter what you do, people are going to complain about it. Like, so there's been a lot of complaining. And if I can get Ben, Joellen, and John and Kit and God forbid Sandy in the same room, like what can I do after that?
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
So I don't know. It's a lot of work, and
yeah, I bet it is.
There's a lot of flack.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll switch to having little ones.
Yeah, that would be great.
Little impromptu ones.
I really liked it when I used to just go to a city and be like, hey, I'm going to be here if anybody wants to hang out, and like 10 people would come.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. I like that. So, and then I don't feel so bad for blowing you off, you know?
Yeah. Troy said I could always ask for more money. No, I don't want that. Like, I'm cool. I'm cool paying for everything. It's fine.
Are you watching the chat or the comments, or?
Yeah, I'm watching the chat. There aren't that many.
All I'm seeing is you, which, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty. It's fine.
Yeah, it's acceptable.
So, what's new in your secret world? Anything cool happened that you've seen? Because I've been kind of like distracted this week, so I don't know what's going on.
Okay, what's new in my secret? Well, I've been working on. Is that? This is Alma.
God, I thought you were gonna pull out a gun.
No. So it basically looks just like a cane, right? But
it's a
probe.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and it's held together magnetically. It's going to have a handle, but so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But hopefully it's long enough to reach as far as I need to go. So
that's nice.
But yeah.
One day we should have like a tools thing. I had to buy an endoscopic camera. Like I was surprised I didn't have one. But
yeah.
I broke my Jeep and I had to buy one to look at the pistons. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then I knew like Rachel was gonna make fun of me because I've been talking about buying one for the treasure hunt, but I haven't. And as soon as I went in, I told her, I was like, look, this is not about hunting for treasure, but I've got to buy a boroscope. And she's like, it's totally about looking for treasure.
About looking for treasure, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Oh well.
Yeah. It's like
I'm gonna post the link to the room in the comments just in case anybody wants to come in. Since it's a Facebook room, just let whoever in to talk about whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. That'll be fun.
Yeah, until it's not. Like
no, that's like okay.
It's always fun until like 50 people show up. Daniel, Daniel wants to come in. I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. We'll just let it. It's Daniel. Daniel's. Are you driving, dude?
I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
I don't know that we can let Daniel come in driving.
I didn't know I was coming in live, or.
Oh.
I didn't know how this worked.
Oh well, then we'll totally kick you out if you didn't want to talk. But
no, I don't mind talking, man.
You should totally, drive.
What are you? That's his steering wheel.
Yeah, he just like put it down so nobody could see him, and that's fine. It looks like he's in a semi. Like he's.
Where are you?
I cannot divulge such information, sir.
He is on the road.
In a particular state?
Yes, it is.
Indiana.
It is a state.
I'm in Indiana.
Oh, okay. There's not a cask there. That sucks.
Yeah, actually, I didn't know I was going live. I thought you were opening up like a separate room that we were all chatting in.
No, if you click the link I post, you go live. Do you want us to kick you out? It's fine. Or did you want to talk about something?
What's the subject?
There isn't one. You're setting the subject.
Is it daylight in Indiana right now?
It is.
It looks like it. Daniel has on a very white shirt. If it's not daylight.
Okay.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, go ahead and kick me out, man. I'll pay attention and run.
All right, man. Have a good drive safe.
Yeah, drive safe. Yeah.
That's the first time I've ever. I can't say it's the first time I've went live driving, but it's the first time I've ever had.
I've been many a Zoom meeting driving.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Anyway.
okay.
Yeah. So, I don't have anything to talk about. I'm hoping someone
What's the matter
else
with your
will.
Jeep?
Oh, I went playing in the mud and I hit a mud puddle. Mud puddle was shallow. It was like maybe 2 feet deep, but I hit it at about 25 miles an hour and hydrolocked the engine.
I have no idea what that means.
I sucked water up into the engine,
Okay.
and it filled up the. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And where the pistons go, it filled all that up with water.
Yeah.
And which is bad.
Where's your air
Huh?
cleaner? Where's your air cleaner? Don't they put those up on big things on Jeeps?
No, it was there. It was just soaked in water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I don't have one of the snorkel ones. I told my dad because we were pulling the engine apart, and I was like, I've got to get a snorkel air filter now, which is one of the big ones that goes up top. And he was like, or maybe just drive slower through mud puddles. So I don't know which one. Cole wants to talk about Louis Armstrong. No. I love Louis Armstrong.
Okay. Just like I said, yeah, I think that's supposed to be Louis Armstrong. I don't think it's actually super Louis Armstrong. You know, I mean, it kind of looks like him.
I've never back when people were looking at Armstrong Park, there was so much stuff for Armstrong Park where you could say, yeah, maybe there were a lot of similarities.
There was all kinds of stuff, so it would be awful redundant if that's what it was.
Yeah. I've always just thought it looked like generic African American face. You know, it doesn't really look like anybody to me. But
there was somebody on Quest for Treasure ages and ages and ages ago who lived in New Orleans, who went to the local Carnival mask shop and bought a white mask of Louis Armstrong. So they exist. But it was, you looked at the mask and you went, that's Louis Armstrong. You look at the thing in the painting and you go, that kind of looks like Louis Armstrong. So, good.
I don't know. Like there's a lot of, it's sort of like I keep going back to after we figured out everything in the image from Boston. I keep going back to that and thinking about stuff in Chicago where if it's not an exact 1-to-1 match, which in Chicago and Boston there weren't a lot of those. There was 2 or maybe 3 in Chicago, 1-to-1 matches. There was the fence post and fixture. There was the fountain.
There's this website called 12 Treasures. I don't know if you've been there, but they got some decent versions of the pictures.
I know. I heard the guy that runs that's a dick.
He is an ass. So we were talking.
So I can see fence and fixture, but you wouldn't know that until the end.
Right.
The Bowman and the fountain, and then maybe the earring if you knew what that was, right? And the water tower.
The water tower, though, is like, I mean, I looked at that first time and went, okay, Windy City, water tower. And I know nothing else about Chicago.
Right. But in the scheme of that painting, that's not a lot of stuff, right? The weird wrinkles everywhere, they don't mean anything. You know, that kind of stuff. And then in Boston, there's really nothing. There's like home plate, and that's it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what about Boston? Says Boston outside of there were some word pictures.
There was letters. Yeah.
Boston, and that's Boston Globe. Boston Pop.
That's what I was getting at with New Orleans, especially. There's a lot of stuff that sort of could be Armstrong Park, but why does it have to be an exact match, right? Like that's not an exact match to Louis Armstrong. It's just not. Right. It might allude to him, especially given the archway for the park above it, but it's just not an exact thing. And I feel like if we keep focusing on these exact matches, we're losing focus on the puzzle as a whole.
Well, and then a lot of people, I don't think, I think the images have 2 functions. One is to get you to a city, and the other function is to get you to the verse. And then once you've done that, you can throw the image away.
Hey, I think I said that at a San Francisco meetup once.
Yeah, you know? Yeah, maybe that's where I got it. But So, yeah, I don't think there's any treasure map-ish in the image besides getting you to the verse.
But how hard would that be? Like, you would need the exact map that was used from the exact year, from the exact book, like, because they're all a little different. And it would need to be at the exact angle.
I think he doesn't know. I think he does it with things. I mean,
yeah.
If you know, and it's not a popular opinion, I know, but you got the water tower and you got the fountain. Okay. Excuse me, the water tower and the Bowman. Okay. Draw a line between those two things.
Well, aren't they on the same road? Wouldn't that like be a right down? It's like 2 miles down the road.
Yes.
Okay.
And then his other earring, not the Buckingham Fountain earring, but the other earring, I say,
Bulls one?
is Bulls Arena. Okay. Yeah. So that's what that means. Bulls Arena and the water fountain draw a line to those two, right? And they cross at Grant Park at the corner where the treasure is. So,
All right.
So I buy that as being part of a treasure map. But,
does that work with Boston? Did you try it?
Yeah, I did. So it depends on what you consider the 5 steps, but yeah, you can make that work, and it works with Cleveland. So, we
had a couple of comments. Oh, so Troy asked, the World Book Encyclopedia is a resource for grades pre-K through high school. Is that what age group The Secret was supposed to be for? In the I don't remember if this was. There's so many things that I start out with. I don't remember if this was in the interview with John or not. But when we were interviewing John, we asked him what the targeted age for The Secret was, and he said there really wasn't one. He said that Byron was really focused on like kids' books, but in this specifically, they never talked about an age group. They never talked about if it was for kids, or they never talked about if it was for adults. And he was like, he assumed it was just for everybody.
Okay, so, and my take on that is working at a bookstore when it came out, okay, the trade paperback style of book that The Secret is matched several other really, really popular books that had just come out. The official Preppy Handbook was one. Just books like that, right?
Yeah.
Same publisher, same style, and they were all aimed at high school to people in their
20s and 30s. Yeah, it's same as National Lampoon or Heavy Metal.
Exactly what that was aimed at.
Yeah. That's what I would assume. Like back in the 80s, old people were lame, dude. My parents bowled. Like they would never do fantasy-based treasure hunts. Like there's no way to aim that towards adults back then.
Yeah, but his point about the World Book being for kindergartners up to high schoolers, so all of us who were around when the book was published had used World Book from kindergarten all the way up through high school, and now we're in college, so yeah, totally fits. So
Nick would like us to not knock bowling. Apparently, Nick is lame like my parents.
Yeah, no.
I've been bowling once. Is it fun, Matt? Is bowling fun? I know you've been bowling.
I've been bowling.
Is it fun?
In high school, I was on a bowling league, but it was fun. It's fun. People drink beer. People, there's food. Yeah, it's fun. It's get you out of the house.
My dad was on a bowling league. He bowled a perfect game once, and he was very proud of that. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah.
I assume it's pretty common.
No, it is not.
No?
It is not. No. Oh. Perfect game is not common. So that is impressive if he did it. So
he had a patch. He had a patch from like a bowling alley. That said he bowled a perfect game.
Yeah, it's like I've never even come close. And I used to work in a bowling alley. So go figure. In high school, I had did a little work in a bowling alley.
Yeah, so I was talking to one of our members. She just posted in the comments. Her name's Violet. She owns a bowling alley.
Okay.
So there we go. Okay.
Yeah. They're popular. They are popular. So.
Yeah. There were other comments, but like I've lost them now. We had like 44.
Roll up. Okay.
No, it's like Facebook, man. I hate Facebook. It doesn't let you scroll up anymore. It literally only shows you like 5 comments, and they scroll through super quick. So I've got fun times. A perfect bowling game is impressive. Oh, and now it's just moved. Something about Teddy Roosevelt. Nicholas Canuck has 2 perfect games. 2.
Oh, okay.
He is twice as cool as my dad.
All right. That is impressive.
So anyway.
Okay. You know, this was all stuff we did before the internet. So
there was time before the internet? I don't know, man.
People existed.
Sounds like a
others, you know. You had to kill mastodons to eat, but watch out for the saber-toothed tigers.
Sounds like a story my grandfather would tell me. Back in my day, we didn't have the internets, we had books.
Yeah, but there was cocaine in their Coca-Cola, so, you know.
Cole asked a good question.
Yeah.
Oh, there was, what you're talking about, cocaine and Coca-Cola?
Yeah, that's how those old folks kept themselves entertained. And it's also how they walk 20 miles through the snow to school.
Yeah, you know? that would keep me entertained, I guess.
Yeah, keep you going, yeah.
Cole asked a good question, and then Violet asked one too. Cole asked, so I'm just going to ask these 2 questions so we keep them in the back of our mind. Cole asked, what is proof in regard to the secret? And then Violet wants to know if we can talk about Crew Pat. So let me get to Violet's question first, and then go to Cole's. So can I talk about my chat with Crew Pat? I don't really know. So my chat with Crew Pat was long. It was like 2 hours, and he specifically asked me not to record it, and I didn't. But what I have is ADD, and I also wasn't able to write anything down. So I remember a lot of what he said, but there was a lot of times when he said, "Please don't repeat this," and I don't remember when those points were. So I don't know what I can and can't talk about, because I legit just can't remember. I mean, I remember some of the things where he's like, "Don't say this," but I don't remember like some of the other things I'm sort of iffy on. So there's a lot I don't really feel comfortable talking about it. I'm trying to get him on, and if I can't, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an amended Boston video and send it to him for approval and get some stuff changed, because some of the stuff he said made a lot of sense to me. Like, he told me his story from finding the secret until it was found, and was able to convince me that he didn't steal anything from anyone, like flat out just, I'm going to take this from Reddit. He was able to convince me that he didn't do that. He was able to convince me that he did not promise the gemstones to the construction crew. He was able to convince me of a lot of stuff that had really just come about from like gaps in knowledge. And he knew enough, like I had knew a bunch of back end stuff that sort of nobody else knew, that he was able to hit on the points that I knew. So I could tell he wasn't just flat out making everything up. It's really hard to describe the conversation, but it was a good one. And I'm hoping to just get him on to tell it. Because it sounds like, talking to him, it sounds like he's got himself into a position where he doesn't think people will believe him, or he doesn't think that like he could. It's weird, but I got the feeling he doesn't think he could tell an entertaining story with it, because like halfway through the story, he was like, "Dude, does this interest you?" And I was like, "Hell yes! Everything you're saying to me is interesting to me." I was just being quiet and kind of taking it all in. So I don't know I don't know exactly what's keeping him from talking about it, but it's a good story, and I would like him to tell it.
Yeah, me too. And in what you released, answered, I had 2 outstanding questions about him. One was, you cleared up where the gem came from. Okay.
Yeah, and that's there is absolutely no doubt his gem is Byron's gem.
Perfect.
There's no doubt.
And the other one was, there was the big rumor he had promised the gem to the construction worker, or who found it, right? And
yeah,
he didn't. Great.
He said it. He said absolutely. He was like
that. You know, does it in any way matter? Even if he came into the thing the day before, did all his research on Reddit, and then went and found the jewel the way he found the jewel, does that matter? No. He got the cask. Okay, done. He's the finder of the cask. He's got Byron's jewel. How cool is that? I'd love to talk to him. I don't know what to say.
I think he'll talk. I think he'll talk eventually. He just needs some time. Like, he had some weird like searcher shit happen to him, and he got a lot of blowback. Some of it was deserved, and some of it wasn't. But he had no, because of the way everything was portrayed. But he didn't really have any control over that.
Yeah.
Like, that was all TV show stuff. He had a really good explanation for why his story was different. Like, when he said his kids found it in Expedition Unknown versus where he said he found it and told his kids on the news. He had a really convincing explanation for that, where I was like, oh yeah, that's okay. That's probably true.
I'm just going to say anything that is part of the storyline in Expedition Unknown is a storyline. A lot of it's fiction. A lot of it's, true. A lot of it doesn't matter.
I think I can say this without pissing him off, because that specifically always irritated me. And I don't think he said not to say this, but he said basically the story that he told on Expedition Unknown was true. But they, they're a TV show. They sort of emphasize the, oh, you found it from us kind of thing. Yeah. But the news was like a competing network, and they didn't want to mention the show.
Uh-huh.
So he just said, so I knew about this treasure hunt, and I got my kids involved because he wanted his kids involved in the, the thing. He was basically, like, he tells the story better than I do, and I'm only remembering parts of it. But he basically said they were competing entities, competing networks, that the news didn't want to mention that show to give them any publicity, so he had to cut that completely out and sort of redo his story.
Yeah.
It's just fine with me. Like, I've had people from interviews say, no, you can't say X, you can't say Y, we don't want to give them publicity. So it's a legit thing. And it kind of screws with you when somebody springs that up. Like, yeah, you can tell this story, but change it because you have to cut out this major part.
Yeah. And that's similar. What I think, when people bring up other authors and, Byron would have referenced this author and this is it. And it's like, well, it's not the same publisher. So Bantam would not have let them talk about another author in it. So it's like, okay. But no, he everything you talked about answered all my questions. So
he said flat out, and this is another thing I don't think because he didn't actually put two and two together on this one. So I don't think he'd mind us talking about it either. I asked him about the gem. About promising the gem to the construction crew, and he flat out said, "I did not do that because why would I? I wanted the gem." He was, and the way he told the story about how he approached the construction workers and how that all came to be, it was it was kind of embarrassing for him.
Yeah.
So I get it, but the way we found out about a lot of this is via the construction crew came in during the filming of Boston, and they were all put under NDA except for one guy who was out sick that day. So he didn't sign the NDA. So they only came in and filmed for one day, and one guy was out sick, and he came in the next day, and this had ended up being the same guy that was leaking all the pictures and stuff or whatever. So he came in the next day, and he was talking a bit to us, and the construction crew found out because, like, the construction crew was getting paid a lot to shut this place down, and they were getting a lot of publicity, and they didn't want any bad press. They found out this guy was talking, and they fired him.
Ouch.
And shortly after he got fired, all of the negative stuff started coming out. And nobody really knew, all of a sudden it was just negative, but nobody really knew that, this dude got fired.
Makes sense.
Like, he's got an axe to grind.
Yeah.
But Krupat didn't know that. Krupat didn't know that the guy got fired. Jason didn't know that that was the guy that was talking. It was weird the way sort of what I knew and what he was saying were meshing, creating this new narrative that we had never considered.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Well, I'm glad it's getting out in the open now. That's cool.
Somebody else asked if the crews were under. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody else asked if the crews were under NDA. No, nobody's under NDA anymore. Jason's not doing anything with Expedition Unknown. I don't know who is. He doesn't know if anyone is.
Well, I don't know what's going on. People who dug up the St. Augustine Fountain of Youth one.
Yeah. I mean, it's still just like a rumor, and every year these rumors pop up, and whatever. The Charleston one has a little more legitimacy than the St. Augustine.
The Charleston one?
Yeah, so there was a rumor for two. There was a rumor for St. Augustine. There was a rumor for Charleston, and they were both a little bit legitimate. The St. Augustine one only because I trust the person who told me about it. One guy sent me a message once and was like, "Hey, Expedition," it was like a guy found the St. Augustine cask and Expedition Unknown is going to go film there, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. Like that's bullshit." And then like a couple of days later, one of my friends who's not in the hunt called and was like, "Hey, aren't you interested in that treasure hunt that was on Expedition Unknown?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's a waitress, and she was like, "Well, I was serving a guy who was a cameraman from Expedition Unknown." And I was like, "Oh, okay." But I didn't like go further into that. Like, dude could have been on vacation, but it was a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
And maybe the other one
for the cask. Yeah.
I don't know why he was in town.
Yeah.
But he was, and it was only a couple of days after somebody was like, "Hey, they're coming to film." But then I asked like all the people that I knew after she said that. I asked all the people that I knew in the areas. I was like, "Is Expedition Unknown? Have they come here to film? Or and they were like, "No." So. And then somebody said something about Charleston being dug up during the pandemic, and then they were waiting until a very specific date to go back and dig. And I went in and I checked with one of the producers I know, and he was like, "Well, I'm not working on anything on that end, but I can say that is the exact date that Expedition Unknown is resuming filming." And I was like, "Oh, that's a weird coincidence." Okay.
Okay. Hey, what's the date?
It was sometime in October. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But that was the exact date they were resuming filming for the new season.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, unless people dig some up, there is like not a whole lot of point in doing a whole bunch of Expedition Unknown, not finding anything shows.
Man, everybody wants to be on Expedition Unknown, but I always point out it didn't do anything for Jason. He got on TV, but it didn't help his reputation.
It's gonna bring out some weird people sometimes,
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
Oh well. Yeah. We all get acted on occasion.
So what do you in regards to The Secret, what do you consider proof? Because I know my pet peeve is somebody who's like, "Well, this proves this." And I think that's one of your pet peeves. What do you consider to be proof?
What do I consider to be proof? It led you to a cask.
All right. So you don't consider something proof until you can use it to bring up a cask.
Right. I mean, you can say the image in New York looks a lot like the Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah.
You can say that proves the Statue of Liberty is part of the hunt, as part of the... Okay.
Yeah, but it doesn't prove that.
There are 61 statues of liberty in the state of New York. Okay? So, I was sure it was in Rochester, New York for a long time because they have a Statue of Liberty there.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's my point. Like whether or not, I guess unless one of the people who works on the book says something is true, it's open to interpretation.
Even then, it's open to interpretation because for fun, some of these people are not above lying to us.
That's true.
Okay.
Keep going back to "There's nothing buried in Boston." That email. Yeah,
okay,
that's true.
Yeah. So.
Well, I think you can. There's levels of proof, though, right? Like you can take, for instance, the cities, right? There's a lot of evidence for the cities, plus people confirming them. So they're like, while they're not 100% true, they're higher up the chain of proof than anything else would be. if that makes sense,
They
right?
are
There's
more likely.
levels.
They're not
Okay,
proven.
more
Okay?
likely. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
I
right.
mean, I'm sorry. I mean, and I mean, when somebody comes up and is using the San Francisco verse in New York, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Go for it. I just am curious how then you can't look at it in, oh, this is the one verse. Well, you can. You can say I'm going to ignore everything else and just solve my verse with with my picture and my state. That's fine. But logically, you have to look at how it affects all the other verses, where they would then fall out, what has to move around, and the more you move stuff around, the less likely it is.
Yeah.
So,
but people have this weird habit of just focusing on one. So where you and I look at all of them and how each decision affects all of the different puzzles, people don't worry about that. They're like, I don't care as long as you like. I just know this painting and this verse is in Poughkeepsie. I don't care how it affects the rest of it.
right. That's true. That's true. That they do that a lot. Yeah. So, but like when I was searching on San Francisco, and the verse we were using for San Francisco was the verse they were using in Charleston, because Robert Louis Stevenson was in San Francisco for a long time. There's monuments to Robert Louis Stevenson. He lived here, so, and everybody knew that verse 7 went with New Orleans, right? So when I finally sat down and said, you know what, I've exhausted everything from my point of view for verse 6 in San Francisco. I can't make verse 6 work. Okay. So then it was like, okay, only got 10 other verses to choose from, and started going through them one at a time, trying to figure out where they went, and then finally landed on 7. And the more I worked with 7, the more obvious it became. And it took 3 or 4 years of arguing with the people on Q4T to get 7 away from New Orleans, and the whole thing was, well, if 7 goes with San Francisco, what goes with New Orleans? What goes with it? And then we started shuffling, and a whole bunch of people, and so what we've got right now is not the result of one person, arbitrarily saying it. It's a result of 30 people trying really hard to figure out all the logic behind this.
Yeah. And that kind of leads into something Troy was talking about, and I missed his comment, so it was a while back, so I'm just going to kind of paraphrase of like, if someone finds a cask, is it important for them to acknowledge the work of others? I mean, on one hand, I say like it's not necessarily important, because it's at this point it's sort of assumed, right? All of this information's out there. It's not like nobody's going to buy this book and just figure out 40 years worth of work. They're going to build off of other people's work. So it's just kind of assumed at this point.
Yeah. But, it's like, really, with the number of ideas I've thrown out there over the last however many years, I'm wrong way more than I could possibly be right.
I'm going to clip that. I'm going to clip that, and I'm going to put it on Facebook.
Okay. So
it's going to be my signature. I'm wrong way more than I'm right.
And by the same definition, I am the worst hunter. I am the worst secret treasure hunter there has ever been.
I mean, okay. Yeah. Oh, because you're the longest. Yeah.
No, the guys in Chicago started the same time I did. They found one. Okay, I didn't. So I'm still looking for the Washington D.C. cask. So.
If the verse and image pairings were wrong, how would you react if a cask was found with a different verse?
That'd be wonderful. That would be
absolutely fantastic.
That would be great. And that's why when somebody comes up with an alternate use of a verse, I'm like, that's cool. I do want to know how you shuffle the others, but that's not necessary. You know, if you cast,
I think people like take that the wrong way. Like, because when people do that, when they use a different verse, I guess it seems like people start jumping down their throat, but I don't think they do in most cases. I think there's just a lot of questions that need to be answered when you start doing that. You know, and if you can't answer that question, that makes your pairing less likely.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. But like, just like the Boston one, it was found by somebody who, like, up until this point, hasn't acknowledged any of the work from the community. We weren't sure if they were stealing ideas. We weren't sure of anything, but it doesn't like, at least to the older crowd, it didn't really matter because we learned a lot. And that made it, even if it was stolen, which it doesn't look like it was, but even if it was stolen, it made it worth it.
I have a hard time with saying stolen, okay? Because it's
but I'm using that.
Even I know, but that's what I'm saying. Even if he had been in the hunt for a week, and his research was reading other people's ideas on Reddit, okay, he didn't steal that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not stealing.
I agree.
What would be stealing is if you presented this huge idea that you did get off Reddit or something, and you came back and you said, "Yeah, no, this is all mine. I came up with this all by myself," you know, and I kind of look sideways at you. But there's nothing wrong with grabbing somebody else's idea and running with it. That's why they're out there. That's why we share them. So do you have to, if you found a cask, would you have to thank everybody who came before you? I mean, that generic, sure, that would be cool, but you can't name everybody who came up with every, that's insane.
Stuff mentioned with the crew pad interview with that person's firing has me more suspicious with the construction company peeps silencing people. No. Just to clarify, the construction company didn't put anybody under NDA. Expedition Unknown did. And the guy was talking the guy was putting the construction company in legal jeopardy because he was talking. They didn't really have that much of an option. Like, once you get into that sort of a situation where there's that much money involved and a Hollywood production company can sue the shit out of you, you don't have much of an option. You got to fire that dude. It was kind of a little bit of a dick move on the guy that was talking. It was also a little bit of I can understand it from the construction crew. I can understand them firing that guy, especially knowing now that, like, he knew he wasn't supposed to talk, even though he wasn't there for the NDA. He wasn't legally under NDA, but they asked everybody to keep quiet, and he didn't. So, it really, the more and more that I learn, it really seems like Boston is on the up and up. Everything's okay. There's just a lot of voids that we have filled, that we as a community have filled with conspiracy theories.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, it happens.
But if you're going to keep, total silent radio silence, that's going to happen.
Yeah, it is.
So some of that's on them.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
All right.
So let's see. Do we have any other questions? I don't know. But yeah, Nick said that's why we share, to help the community as a whole. I think, like, there's a difference between certain types of hunters. Some hunters just want to see, like, they just want to see the puzzle solved and they want to be a part of that. And then some want to just dig up a cask no matter what. And the people who, like, just want to dig up a cask no matter what and don't really care about the rest of the puzzle, they're the ones who are, like, on the Facebook pages, like, this is a match and I'm not going to tell you why, and ha ha ha, and you do your own research and whatever. Like, that is annoying as crap to me. Like, okay, I'm just going to ignore you.
They put up a picture, and
to
be, I've broken open the entire hunt, and you look at it and you go, I don't get it, but it's like, and they're like, oh, it should be obvious. No,
No. Like, talk about your stuff, man. I don't want to. Like, it just if you do that, I automatically tune you out. I'm not gonna fall down whatever rabbit hole you fell down. If you want me to come, you let me know why I should. Otherwise, you're just whatever.
Yeah.
Personally, Simon says, personally, the Boston feel at home is absolutely home plate, but not what peeps think. Way cooler. It's kind of lame. We like, that's something I absolutely have to let Jason say, but we know 100% exactly where the cask is within a foot, like within a square foot, that much space, exactly where it is. And when you hear it, you're going to be like, eh. And when you hear why we know, you're also going to be like, well, okay, that's true.
I'm really worried that as we find more and more and more of these, possibly, we're going to be going, yeah, that's lame.
Yeah. Steve Norden wants to jump in. You want me to let Steve in?
I don't know who Steve is, but yes.
Steve is awesome. He lives in Milwaukee. He lives near Milwaukee. He's a great guy.
Well, wait, he's from Milwaukee. Oh,
awesome dude.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Hey, Steve, how are you?
What's up, Steve?
How about you?
Can't
Kill
hear
your
Steve.
face for Steve.
What's that?
Turn off your mute Facebook. Also, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
No.
Hang on.
Okay, we're gonna hang on. I can hear me though. Steve's great. Like he's he gave Rob a ride when we were there for JM's funeral. He met us there and hung out with everybody. He's a great guy. Great guy. He was in the PBS thing too.
Oh, cool. He's echoing.
You hear me
No,
now?
not really. You're really low. I don't know if anybody in the chat can hear.
It took me forever to get connected to you guys.
Yeah, I have no idea.
I'm gonna go out and come back in. See what happens.
Okay. I think he said he's going to go out and come back in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Rachel asked
you were echoing when on his feed.
Rachel asked when we're going to tell us exactly where Boston was. I'm not, because it's a Jason Krupat story. You need to hear that story from Jason Krupat. But what I'll say is it's not going to blow anybody's mind. It's not going to change anything. It's not groundbreaking. It's just we just know now. It's not going to change anything. All right, let's see if this works. Oh, that's much better.
Hey, all right.
And you're not echoing.
Good.
What's up, Steve?
No, I don't know what happened.
How you feeling, man?
Oh, so. Better days.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
But that's, it's life. You know how that goes.
Yeah.
So when are you coming back up here again?
To Milwaukee? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. So something you're gonna like. I think I can talk about this now. We completely funded a memorial bench for John in Milwaukee, like 100%. All of his friends did. So we're gonna have one placed there, and I don't know when. It's not gonna be in Lake Park because they're full up on benches. We're thinking of Juneau. We're thinking of Juneau Park.
That'd be a good park.
Yeah. So probably then. I think we're all gonna come up for that. I don't know if we're gonna announce the dates publicly because it's gonna be fairly emotional for his friends, so I don't know if we want to get there and do our thing and then let everybody else know we're there. I don't know what we're gonna do, but the date, the moment we know, I'll let you know. So you
okay? I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Well, they'll still be around.
Oh, you'll still be around, man. You're gonna outlive me.
I hope so, but I don't.
It's gonna be like you, Matt, and Keith Richards are gonna be the only people left.
Yeah. Well, I need a new body for that, but no. So what's this guy on Facebook? Something about he wants to hit a dig downtown or something. I saw. You saw that? Did you see that?
No. Oh yeah, I saw a guy that was wanting to create a downtown Milwaukee team. He was asking if anybody was on team downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know of anything downtown I'd want to dig near. Would that horse, that statue of the dude on the horse, is that considered downtown? You know what I'm talking about? I forget the name of it. It's got the long letter from Germany on the side of it.
You mean Walcott?
No, not the Walcott statue. That's in Lake Park. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's another one. There's it's a statue, and I think it's a dude on a horse, and it's in the middle of a road. It's like
that's down by the courthouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's downtown, kind of. Not really. Yeah, I guess you could say it's downtown. It's by the courthouse. But the only place I would think about digging would be kind of just redoing the park now too. I can't pronounce it. It's a church name. Church. CATH. Started with that. Castro. I'm terrible on names. Anyways, they're redoing it this year. So I asked one before because they were supposed to do it in 2019 before COVID hit. If they look if anything for the box, and they blew me off. Walkie blew me off. I got emails from them, and now they're doing it again, and they're still not gonna look. So, it is what it is. Hatchell Park.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, it's right downtown. It's like 3-4 blocks from the where you see where the theater,
Pabst Theater.
Pabst Theater is. Yeah, it's like 3 blocks north of there, so west of there. So, but that's all right.
Once upon a time, I wanted to dig in Pear Marquette Park or Haymarket Square, but John disabused me of those ideas.
John beat anybody to death that wasn't in Lake Park. He had so much good info.
I know.
He was like, if you're not at the Lions, you're wrong.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you'd think it'd be, with all the people that dug in Lake Park, you would think it would be found. Plus, it got destroyed in some of the remodeling there. That's the only thing I can think of.
Did he ever? Yeah. Matt, I'm going to ask a question. It's going to be super vague, but I think you'll understand what I'm asking.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Did John ever tell the story about the time he said he talked about the Lions to someone?
Yes.
He told that story publicly. Did he tell what? Oh,
No.
Okay.
No.
So we will not tell that story. Okay.
No, we will not. Okay.
Never mind then.
Yeah. Okay.
John was dead set on Lake Park.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. Every time I talk to him, definitely. You couldn't get away from it.
All right. I thought he told that story. Oh well. I'm gonna err on the side of caution.
One of the things not to talk about. So.
Okay. All right. Well, anyway.
John had a list of things not to talk about. That was one of them.
Yes, it was Cathedral Square that they're redoing. That's the
Cathedral Square.
Yeah, they're redoing that. They're digging that up and moving things around. They just started last month.
I used to make fun of that town, man, but every time I go to Milwaukee, I love it more. It's so much fun. It's a nice little place.
It is.
It still looks like it's ruled by depression, but it's nice.
Have you been in the winter?
No, I don't want to do that.
So that's like the equivalent of going to Florida in the summer. Okay, not pleasant.
Perfect. You're right on with that.
Rachel Malley says there are too many secrets in the secret. It's not. It wouldn't. It's not.
That's a private conversation.
Yeah, it's a cool story. It's not any inside information.
No, yeah, it's a private one.
But it's a private one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm sure if he was here, he'd be telling us all about it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I always thought like that road, I forget the name of the road me and Hardapy stayed on when we went to Milwaukee, but it was like it was like a couple of blocks back from Lake Park, and it was gorgeous. It looked like the Home Alone neighborhood. And I was like, during Christmas, this place would be like, I just want to rent an Airbnb just to see what this place looks like at Christmas.
The street where the church is, where the church thing, lighthouse is on.
No,
not the lighthouse.
It wasn't that one. I can map it real quick.
Yeah, it's right by the hospital there, by the water. Yeah, that you take down that road. That's where you guys stayed.
Locust Drive.
What's that?
I think we were on
Bellevue.
We were on Downer. We were on Downer Avenue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we were like right near the corner of Downer and Kenwood. Because we wanted to find a place where we could walk to the park, and it was only like Downer and Kenwood.
Isn't that also right over by the possibly one of the 3 stories of Mitchell?
Yeah, I think it's near all of them.
Yeah,
isn't it? Hackett, Summit, Shepherd, or Marietta, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the 3 stories of Mitchell that was like the 3 stories of the Mitchell Mitchell Hall, which is like right
University.
Right there.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And then the 5 who lived. How many people lived there? I forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta go back to comments now. I have no idea what I'm talking about. So what's new in your world, Steve?
Well, what's new in my world? Well, getting sicker, I guess. Unfortunately, they told me I got kidney disease. So, besides my lungs, but we're just hanging in there. Trying to lose some weight.
It's hard. Like every time I commend your spirit, because every time I see you, I'm like, hey, how are you? And you're like, well, lung disease and kidney disease, but things are great. Like, dude, I could not be as positive as you are.
About 2 weeks ago, I did some blood tests. They came back and told me I got lung surgery, stage 3 kidney disease, which you can live for 10, 20 years with it. So my lungs will be before that. But just that I have it. That's one other thing I gotta, need to deal with. But it is what it is. You just, you gotta be positive. What else is there, George? The only thing else I could do is go, die, I guess.
No, don't do that. I guess, yeah.
I don't want to do that.
It's just a testament to who you are as a person. Yeah. Why I admire you, because you are positive in the face of anything.
Well, you got to. I mean, you cry and be depressed and then want to do other things, but you might as well be positive. It's easier to be that way than I think. But anyways, yeah, that's all going on. But besides that, everything's going good. But I got some other bad news. My dad's on hospice. My brother has cancer. He's on hospice. They give him, which, this is life. We just move on one day at a time. That's all we do is one day at a time.
I guess.
I like to see one more treasure dug up before I go, but we'll see what happens.
Let's do it, man. Let's just go to Milwaukee and take up a cast.
That would be nice.
We're putting in a bench. How ironic would it be when they go to pour the footer for the bench if they were like, what the hell is this?
What is this thing?
Hey, yeah. I thought of Juno Parker a lot. I mean, I really did. I thought it would be right next to that little shed down there. Well, the home of Juno that they put there. I really thought you had an X on the building. That could be your letter in the country, And I really thought it could be right there.
Huh?
I mean, a lot of clues point to it, but
they his friends have like a little poll for what to put on the bench, and I think I can say this one because I don't think it's going to win, but like the cutest one, the one that I thought like John would love this one is we're going to put "It's around here somewhere."
That is good.
That is good. That's not bad. Is here somewhere?
I would just love it if they dug a hole and were like, what the hell is this plastic thing? We'll put this bench over the top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing about Juno Park is where the statues were there. They're the land decoded or whatever, and they had to move them back. They moved all the, they had to move all the statues forward. So because
really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Back in 1998 or something like that. I can't remember exactly what year it was. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So everybody that's currently looking in Juneau Park is looking in the wrong place. Like everything was moved. I didn't know that.
Everything was moved like 10 feet, 10 yards or 15 yards toward the road, toward going west. Because going toward the lake,
Yeah.
what do you call that word? The road?
Erosion.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. I'm having trouble concentrating on the words. I'm sorry.
That's what they should do in Roanoke.
So they had to do it. They had to do that. They had to do everything forward. So, and they could have got, if it was there, it got destroyed there too. That's the thing. That's the problem. It's like in Lake Park when some of the lions, they had to, tear up and put more dirt there. So, in the 90s. So who knows?
I mean, that bridge getting demolished in Lake Park in the early 2000s, truck, if that thing was anywhere near that bridge, that killed it. It's dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So,
because I've dug next to that bridge, there ain't nothing there but broken cinder blocks, and they're everywhere.
Yep.
It seems like they destroyed that bridge, and instead of removing all the rubble, they just poured dirt over it.
Yep, that's what it seems like, doesn't it?
Yep.
That's what it seems like. No, and we dug up where the cannon was, across from the lighthouse there. Nothing. Everything was dug up in that whole area there. I don't think there's a spot left that hasn't been dug up or probed at least. But
yeah, that's what kills me about Lake Park. If it's actually in that park and not down towards the road, like it's impossible to find. People have dug everywhere there because now after Expedition Unknown, there's a couple of locals who live in a couple of these cities that have been digging since then. But in Milwaukee, Savril has lived there for years. And he's dug up all kinds of shit. And John Michaels lived there for years, and he dug up all kinds of shit. And now there's like 7 or 8 locals who live in Milwaukee, and they all dig up all kinds of shit. So, like, Lake Park's been hit hard. I can't see it being there.
Well, that's why my heart thinks is there, but my mind tells me it can't be because, or if it was, it got destroyed. Everybody's dug so many holes that, it's like with General Wilcox. So people dug all the way around there, and then they got moved a little bit too. So, so
I'm in the It's Destroyed camp. I'm right there in that camp. Like I love the Lions. I don't think either Josh Gates nor John Michaels was right about the correct. Like I don't think they found the correct lion, but I think it's right there next to the Lions, and I've dug them. There's nothing there.
Yep. Well, all 8 lions they dug up. So, anyways, let's find the one down in your land and St.
Augustine. Yeah, that'd be nice. Let me sleep finally.
The problem is
I'm happy with the idea of some of them being gone.
Yeah,
because you won't never know they're gone. So the hunt will never end, and
it'll never end.
One of the things that makes this a cool hunt.
Right. I really think the one in Houston's gone. Personally, I think the one in San Francisco's gone, and the one in Milwaukee. I personally believe that, but I could be wrong. But just by looking at what they changed from 1980 to now. But
where did you think the San Francisco one was?
I thought it was by those or where the parking lot is now. They put a big parking lot in by I can't think of what building it was. It was by what statue was that? The Grand Statue was there, I think. There were 2 statues there.
In Golden Gate Park.
Was that?
In Golden Gate Park?
Correct.
The one at the music concourse?
Yeah.
Yeah. But they put that new parking lot in. And wherever I thought it was lit, they would have dug it all up.
So when they were digging the Golden Gate Park area, there and at the Senior Citizen Center, I went down and talked to the construction crew and said, here's a case of beer, help me find. And I told them what to look for. And so they had their eyes open. They didn't. Nobody called me.
Okay, that could be wrong. Like I said, I talked to Stark, right?
No, I think he's talking to you. I think he's talking about you, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Matt Sparks. That's Matt Sparks.
Yeah.
Oh, you are
Steve,
that.
I'd like you to meet Matt Sparks.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
I met you online, but I don't think you remember me. 3 years ago, I talked back and forth with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, okay. So now,
Yeah, cool. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you in person. Yeah.
The secret podcast, bringing people together. I'm
I'm
just like I'm just playing with my credit card here. If anybody wants to steal the number, I should stop doing
Flip
that.
it over one more time. I got to get the number off the back.
You don't have no money, George.
That's true. I have nothing.
No, but it's good to see put face to the names. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I think you texted me back in when I was trying to get a permit for Lake Park. You said if I need any help, I'll let you know, and you would Phillips. But anyways, this is like 3 years ago going back.
Sure.
But yeah, I really looked at your park and my park and then Houston for a little bit. But
back when we could get permission in Lake Park.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I was that close to getting it. I had my insurance lined up, everything. I was ready to spend $2,100 just so I could dig for a box that maybe might be worth $1,000.
It isn't worth that much.
It isn't worth that much.
It isn't worth that much.
But they turned me down. So, but oh well. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, it's just too bad that these towns, these cities can't make a weekend and get people in there and raise money for the parks. You know, have people pay to come and sign up paper. You'll be respectful. You know, if you dig a hole, you put it back how you found it and make money for the park systems. I don't understand why they don't do that. You know, just one year.
Yeah, insurance.
Yeah.
Well, I think people forget, like, the Parks Department's main goal is to keep the park beautiful. And they got funding, you know, it's fine. But like a hole in the ground isn't going to help that cause any, no matter if they've raised money for that hole or not. And holes in the ground create liabilities. Because even if you fill them in, there's always a divot, and it's always unlevel, and it just creates a liability for them. So there's a lot of reason for them to not want people to dig holes in the park. But, you know, I don't know.
There's been quite a few parks who have said, sign this volunteer thing. Here's a plant. Go plant it where you're going to be looking.
Yeah.
You know, and so I've planted more than a few bushes in my search.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
You know, speaking of that, I was in Lake Park one day, and the guy was putting new trees in. He had one of those tree diggers. They, you know, put these new trees up by the line. As a matter of fact, I was teasing him. Hey, can we borrow you for a couple hours and make a big holes? And he said no. True story. They bought last year. They put like, I don't know, 25 to 50 new trees in Lake Park.
Wow.
Throughout the park.
Probably they're all aspens. Or what is it? What is it that's in the verse?
Oh, birch trees.
Yeah, they're probably all birches.
They are. I think they were.
Here's a story about Steve, Matt, that you won't know, but you'll find funny. So me and Steve and Rob and Bradley all went to Lake Park when we went up for John's funeral, and Rob Robel, he brought his cask with him because that's what he does. He just travels with it, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
So we parked next to we parked next to the North Point Lighthouse. And the North Point Lighthouse, the director and like manager were outside just sitting on the steps talking. And Rob is a huge flirt and will flirt with anyone. And he started flirting with these two people. And he was like, oh, yeah, you know about this treasure hunt? And they're like, yeah, we know about the stupid treasure hunt. And he's like, well, no, I'm different because I actually solved it. I found one of them. And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever. We've heard that before. And he's like, no, I've got it right here. And he pulls it out and he puts it into the director of the lighthouse's lap. And she's like, it's smaller than I thought. And then the manager was like, and also uglier. And they were like, so we've been here for 40 years and we've been listening to this and this is what it is, huh? And they're like, yeah. And it was like, why are you looking for these? Like, they're small, ugly, worthless. Stop digging up the parks.
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
It's the hunt. It's not the, you know.
Oh, it
It's,
is. I
it's
mean, really,
meeting
when I got
people,
involved,
it's having fun,
Yeah.
working on the
I met so many new people
Yeah.
and interesting people. You know, a few I wouldn't want to meet again, but
Yeah.
98% of them I would want to meet again. I would invite them to my house, and you know, but there's a couple weirdos out there that I won't name that some of us know. But like
Yeah.
that guy. Oh, but anyway, no, I enjoyed it. I met all around the country, and you just meet so many people, and they're friendly. I mean, they want you to come stop and say hi to you when you're in the area and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It really has created a bunch of friends. It's like it's weird. It's like a clique in high school.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of, you just go wherever and you hang out with people.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I was on vacation, and somebody in my wife's cousin started talking about EU and the treasure hunt. Really, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a story like that. Me and my wife were out eating, and we were talking about right after I went to Milwaukee with you guys, George, and we're talking about Rob and bringing this thing up, and the waitress overheard us talking, and she goes, and he starts talking, and my wife goes, "You're one of them," because she sat down and started talking about how many years she was looking for it in Milwaukee and stuff. Back where my wife goes, "You're one of them." That's so funny. I mean,
Didn't the same
that
thing
was
happen at Denny's when we were all together, where
Yep.
Rob was like talking to the waitress or something, and the waitress was like, "Oh, I heard about that," and he's like, "Yeah, I solved it. Here, look, here's my product."
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That dude will legit flirt with anyone.
Yeah. That's
the thing
cool.
I like is that nobody gets into your mind where you think it is, and you can't. Even if you prove them wrong, you can't change your mind that way. Some of them, like Mike
Yeah.
from Michigan, he has a spot in Lake Park that he's for sure it's there. We probed it. We GPS the area where he was at. The only thing he came up with was a drain, but he still thinks the drain hit where the box is. No, I love Mike, but he gets excited.
Yeah. We got
But
people like that here too. People who are like, "Oh, I think it's right next to the Lions Bridge," because we got a bridge of Lions in St. Augustine. They're like, "Oh, I think it's right here," and this thing matches, and you can tell them all day long, "Well, that wasn't installed until 2003." They're
yeah,
like, "Oh, whatever." Byron
Yeah.
was a time traveler, and he just
Yeah,
knew.
it was. Yeah.
yep. I know. I have a friend, Tommy from Minnesota. I call him talk about Juneau Park. He's convinced that it's there, and because of Lincoln's statue was there. I said they didn't put his statue there up until the '90s. He knew they were going to put that there and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it took forever to convince him. Well, you know Tommy, he's the one who thinks there's nothing buried, but you have to call in.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
not really. And I said you're calling my friend Rob a liar that these kids found it and had to sign a secret agreement. You're crazy.
Dude,
You're
there
nuts.
was somebody like that who they said Brian and Andy and Rob were all liars and that they didn't find the cask, and legit said that Byron was like a time traveler. It was crazy. It
Yeah.
was
Oh my God.
crazy.
Very crazy.
Troy gave me a new idea for a T-shirt that says "I solved the secret," and all I got was this T-shirt. I'm totally gonna make that.
That's a
That
good
is
one.
new merch.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good one.
Let me know. I'll take one.
I'll do that. You want me to send you? I'll totally send you a shirt. Yeah, I think I got your address. I'm gonna send you a thing. I'm gonna send you
Okay.
presents.
Well, make it big enough.
Okay.
You know,
I'll do it.
even on in Illinois, I lost 30 pounds the last 2
Nice.
weeks. So, they got me on this keto diet.
I'm doing that. It's good stuff.
Rachel's
Yep. I
making me
tried
do
it once
that.
before and I kind of fell off. But my daughter-in-law was on over 100 pounds, and my pain management doctor convinced me to go on it because I'm getting too big. I mean, I just look at food and I gain weight. And I started it a week ago, last Thursday. So a week ago from Thursday, so about a week and a half ago, I started
It works. It works.
And I
I'm
went
down
from,
60 pounds.
yep, I went from, I don't want to say my weight, but I'm really big. I went from 492 to, I just weighed myself, and I use my same scale. I have the 459 in a
That's
week
great.
and a half.
Yeah,
And I
Rachel.
know some of that's water leak, but that's still there's more water than that. So
Rachel wants
I'm
me to
not
do
great.
keto, but I keep
Yeah.
telling her like I'm Southern and I love sweet tea and potatoes and
Well-
grits. And if you try to take one of those things away, I'll murder you.
Well, see, that's my biggest thing. I'm a steak potato guy, spaghetti. You know, I'm Italian. You know, shit. I mean,
I'm a Rex guy.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm all about carbs. Like if I could exist on carbs, I would be happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, well.
I tell you, eat this. But my doctor told me don't worry about counting what you eat right now. You're more interested
Oh. Your volume just went down again, Steve.
You,
Oh, there he goes. Okay.
I'm back.
Oh, you
My
came
wife-
back. I think. Yeah. You're back.
Yeah. My doctor just told me eat until you're full. Don't worry about how much you eat because you'll lose weight when you get
As
down.
long
to
as you're just eating bacon, yeah.
And then you'll worry about how much we'll cut back the calories and stuff like that. Eat how much all the stuff you can eat like sausages and I can eat green beans. There's some fruits, but that's what he said, and so I don't keep count of because my daughter-in-law kept track of every little thing she ate, and I got sick of doing that. So, but now I eat what I want, and I lost. So he knows what he's talking about. So we'll see.
Yeah, Simon says that keto is like Atkins, lose weight and you'll basically clog up your arteries, so you have to watch out. But like if a doctor is telling somebody to be on keto, like cholesterol is the least of their worries. So,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Right, you're right, man. You know how big I am, George. I mean, that's no secret.
I mean, you're like you look like a supermodel, Steve. You're like a supermodel. I thought you were on the cover of Swimsuit Illustrated or Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Yeah, for Japan, for judo. Yes, you're right.
I mean, I'm the same way, dude. I'm a big dude, and like I could lose weight, but whatever.
Oh yeah,
Maybe one day.
I know. I thought I'd never be this big until I got hurt. And every year I gain more and more and don't do anything. So that's
I've
one
always
thing
been.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I've just always been this way. Like I've always been large and imposing. That's my thing. Like you don't want the kind of guy you don't want to mess with in a bar.
No, I always been around 300 pounds or so, but never this big in my life. I never thought I'd be this big, and now I got.
You got hurt. Like there's not much you can do about it.
I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And the secret got me out of it. It really did. I mean, it put me out of the funk when I first got hurt. I mean, it really did. So
the crew diet.
Anyways, how you been? Seriously.
I'm good, man. I'm really good. Especially, I know the last time we met, last time we hung out, wasn't under the greatest circumstances. But I've been really good. Things are looking up around here.
House is doing okay. You got the roof fixed?
Yeah. I got the roof fixed. Everything's going great. I broke my Jeep, which sucks. I'm rebuilding the engine on it. I ran it through a mud puddle like 35 miles an hour, and I hydro-locked the engine.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So we're rebuilding the engine, which is fun. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
I guess. It's like a father-son project now. Me and my dad are doing it. So we're like.
Well, what's wrong with that? That's good.
Yeah. That's what I tell him. Yes, Dad, come over, help with the Jeep. It's a bonding experience. I'm totally not using you for your knowledge of mechanics. It's bonding.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. And then Rachel and I are getting married sometime next year, which I don't know. Last time we were together, I don't think we'd set a date.
Okay. It's always going to be next year.
Yeah. And then next year it'll be the year after.
It'll be next year.
Well, I know we set a date this time, and we got with John Fraser. The wedding's gonna be at the Fountain of Youth. It's gonna be nice.
Oh, good to hear. Hey, I've been married 38 years, so I believe in it. So.
Yeah, we've been together for like 11, so it's about time.
It is, and you'll enjoy it. You will. There's no difference.
Will I? Okay.
Just remember one thing. I'll tell you this. I'm serious. I'll tell everybody. Remember, you're going to fall in and out of love because people change, and you got to change with each other, and re-fall in love with that guy and her or her, because your attitude's going to change. Your looks are going to change, and as long as you don't have that going in, you'll stay married the rest of all your life.
I don't know. I can't see Rachel getting. I can't see her looks changing. I think she's gonna be hot forever.
Oh, she's always hot. My wife's hot. My wife thinks I'm hot. Yeah. Those are crazy.
I mean, I also think you're hot, Steve. You're a good-looking man.
Yeah, for a funeral wrestler. No, but you know what I'm trying to say? People change during lifetime, so you got to change with them. So that's all. That's all I mean.
Matt, how long have you been married?
Since '88.
Huh.
Yeah, I've been married in '83. So.
Wow. Nice. Steve's winning.
See, if I was smart, I could have probably looked for that stupid treasure back then, and I could have found it easier.
Yeah.
But
your marriage would have taken a hit.
I wasn't even down here then. I was up in Eau Claire, so I didn't come down there until '89. So, but I did go to Milwaukee a lot back then. But I wish he would have wrote something down. I mean, I really wish people could have found out where they are. You know, I really do.
I don't. I like the mystery. Like, I think Matt said earlier, and I think he said it best. Like, this hunt will never end just because of the way it's set up. Like, a while back, we were talking about when me and Bradley were with JJP, and he was like, he was very adamant that he doesn't know where the casts are buried, but he's like, I'm pretty sure one is unrecoverable. I was like, sweet. I don't want to know which one that is. The hunt will continue for that.
Hey, wait, 20 years from now, somebody will find this little box and it'll be still in there and go, what is this thing?
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. Never know.
Never know.
Yep.
So, Matt, how do you like California?
Smoky right now. There is a huge fire to the east of me. There was a big fire to the north of me, but that's out. But there's a huge fire over south of Lake Tahoe, and it looks like it's foggy and rainy outside, but that's just smoke. We
got that from the Canada fires. Mm-hmm. Came all the way down here to the Milwaukee area. Yeah. We had bad. I mean, I can't even go outside because I couldn't breathe because it was so smoky up in the air. And that's from there's a big forest fire up in Canada, and there's wood coming down to us. So I know, I feel your pain. I know we had.
I mean, it's good cover for digging, though. Can't catch you if they can't see you.
Hoping for fog, but probably not. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, my sister's son lives in San Francisco.
Oh, nice.
I have to go back out to see him. We went out there for his wedding back in 2015, I think it was, something like that. So it's a nice little town.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. One of my daughters lives in Daly City and works in Golden Gate Park.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. I could never live in San Francisco. It's a beautiful city. I could never live there.
Why not?
Too expensive.
Because, like, you've got to walk up a 45-degree hill to go to the grocery store. Like, no. I would, if you want to walk a block away, you got to take a Uber.
Anything's going to look like a big hill compared to where you live.
Dude, I'm lazy, though. You got to remember, I am a lazy Southerner.
From the bottom of my yard to my driveway, which is only halfway up my yard, okay, that's higher than the entirety of Florida.
So you got that right.
There's more altitude there than there is in Florida.
That's true. I really like Brett and I. We were when we were in San Francisco last. We walked out of my hotel and we only wanted to go a block away. And Brett's like, I was like, "Do you want to walk?" And Brett's like, "No, the Uber is on its way."
That's bad. I mean, I even walked in San Francisco for a little bit.
He's like, "We'll walk back. It's downhill."
I was okay. So I'm used to driving in San Francisco. When I learned to drive, I was living in Oakland, and the driver instructor basically takes you across the Bay Bridge and takes you around, and then suddenly you're at the top of Lombard Street.
Oh, yeah,
that was his thing. So that was my first driving lesson, was down Lombard Street.
I don't know how you guys do it. Like there's hills that you can't see the bottom of. You can't see. Everything is a blind turn. Like if you walk outside of Brett's house, because Brett lives on the hills in Oakland. He lives way up at the top of the hills. And if you walk out of Brett's house and you stand on his porch and you look right and you look left, there's just the tip of a hill and you can't see what's below you. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah, I used to live there in Oakland, so I know what you're talking about. So I was up by Muir Woods the other day, a couple weeks ago, and was driving out of a Waze was taking me home, but through a neighborhood, and came around the corner, and the road was like, I'm like, I've not ever seen a steeper road than that. And I'm like, that's got to be a record, because it was, it was seriously like that.
Yeah.
So
I can't.
So,
No.
man, you live in Oakland when they had the earthquake, or back then, or?
I was not in Oakland for the quake. I was living in Los Angeles, but I was in Los Angeles when the Northridge quake hit.
Well,
So.
now I always remember my first baking job I got, and then that night we heard about the earthquake, and I was like, wow. Well, the World Series 2 was on, but
yeah.
Related, but yeah.
There was an earthquake during the World Series?
Yeah, 1989.
Quake. So.
I can deal with hurricanes. Like hurricanes, I can deal with because you know about them a week in advance. You can prepare. Earthquakes, I don't want to. When the ground starts trying to throw me down a hill, I don't want to be involved.
Yeah, we had one here. Actually, it was over by like Mammoth Lakes about 2 months ago. Everybody was like, "Oh, was that yeah, that was an earthquake."
Oh.
So.
I like how this Sunday Funday we're not even really talking about the secret. Like, who cares? Let's talk about earthquakes.
There you go.
Well,
like I said, I was worried
maybe the crew will come up then,
would break the cask.
Yeah, that's something to think about in San Francisco.
Yeah, it probably just rattled it quite a bit,
Yeah, those things are fragile.
Was there any packing material inside the plexiglass?
Not really. There's a little tiny piece of foam.
Okay. Yeah, but that's probably rotted away by now.
Yeah. Well, Brian has his. So 20 years ago, it was still there. I don't think Jason doesn't have his. But it was just like, it was weird. It was little tiny thin crap foam that you put down at the bottom and then put the key on top of it.
Okay.
It would be nice if somebody could develop, take one of the boxes like from Rob and develop a machine that could censor that material. That'd be nice if you could make a GPR machine for that material, just for that material. But
yeah, that's going to be tough. It's because it's basically dirt. Like clay is basically dirt. So with a GPR, you're looking for a dirt box in dirt. So it's really hard to you have to look for the void. You can't look for the material. It's weird.
Yep. Like I tell people, and we talk about Lake Park, about everybody digging that much, but I look how much Rob dug, and they still couldn't find it in daylight, and they had 5 people there looking,
and a picture,
they took them, and they were told where to dig, and they still couldn't find it. So think about you trying to dig at night and trying to dig a 3-foot hole maybe, and 3 by 3 feet hole if you're lucky. Who knows? You've been right next to it all the time and you wouldn't notice.
I think Byron, if I'm going to be honest about anything in this book that I think is wrong, I think Byron way overestimated how deep his holes were. Because there's no way that man went and dug a 3-foot hole 12 times. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think that's what he was saying. He was saying I couldn't have gone any deeper than that. So he never said that's how deep they were.
Yeah,
I mean, there are probably
no deeper.
Yeah, there are probably some that are just have a little covering of dirt.
Yeah,
because the ground in some of these places was so hard.
I think Ben said that on one of the live streams. He was like, you probably just brushed the dirt off of a couple of them.
Yeah, you probably could.
Yeah.
So, wow. Oh my. I had to move my hips kill me tonight, but that's all right.
People are still making fun of Brian driving and getting on live stream. We're not getting most of the comments have stopped. We're now making fun of San Francisco basically in the comment section.
Are we? What do they say about San Francisco?
Well, it's a great place to visit.
That's true.
No, we were up at the chocolate factory, Jadea, whatever.
Ghirardelli.
Down by the bay. We drove all around there, and I like San Francisco driving around. I don't mind it.
I would love San Francisco if it didn't have so many tourists. Because some of the tourists in San Francisco are insanely rude. Like, I thought St. Augustine had rude tourists. No, San Francisco is worse.
So just saying, when you visit San Francisco, you're a tourist.
Yeah, I understand that, but I'm a polite tourist.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay.
Like
okay. The day of the meetup, we had San Francisco meetup was great because everybody was off at that music festival and there was nobody around. It was great.
I think like if you live in a tourist city, you know how to act as a tourist. So when you travel like to some other city, you become like the perfect tourist because you're like very polite and very understanding. Yeah. But San Francisco was full of people who were like, "Fuck you, get out of my way." Like, my kid's more important than you.
And unfortunately, it got worse. And sorry for the homeless. It's gotten worse. This is from my brother-in-law now again. My cousin. Too bad. It's a nice city.
Yeah, it's got its share of problems, but super nice locals. Locals are super. I met one kind of douchey local who I think was drunk, and we almost got a fight. But other than that, it was great.
They were saying it was at Golden Gate Park, and you were saying it wasn't.
Well, no, I think he was a little bit crazy and probably homeless and drunk, and he was like sitting on a step, and I was walking down the sidewalk, and he was like, because it was during peak COVID times when we visited, and he was like, walk on the other side of the sidewalk. You don't have to walk in the middle. And I was like, okay. So I did, and then he was like, you can keep looking like a big badass all you want, but I could drop you in one punch. And I was like, oh. Okay, we're doing this now? And I guess when I stopped and I looked at him and like, because when he said that, I stopped and I turned around and I looked at him and he was like, just keep walking. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, he's got a story. He's sticking to it.
Yeah. Anyway. Nick says, wait till you come to New York. Oh, yeah, I know everybody there is an asshole. Literally.
Oh. I went to New York. I never met anybody. I was expecting jerks in New York, right? I was, and like the guys on the bikes, I was, the bike delivery guys, right? Walk into a corner and a bike delivery guy cuts me off. And I'm like, oh, this is like so New York. And he skids to a stop and he turns around and he goes, oh my God, man, sorry, I didn't see you. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, okay.
I've learned New Yorkers aren't necessarily, they're not assholes. They're just direct. Yeah. Like they don't beat around the bush. They've got shit to do and you're wasting their time.
That's what it is. They're busy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So as long as you can understand, they're not being rude to you. They're getting to the point.
They're doing their stuff. So.
Yeah. It's going to be fun, though. The meetup's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I have no idea how many people are going to show up. No idea. And that was another thing with that Staten Island thing. Because of COVID, they changed to where we could only have 100 people or less. And I was like, oh, I think we're going to push more than 100 people. So luckily, this new one's like 100, 200 is fine. I don't think we'll go more than 200.
How many people did we have in San Francisco?
I think at the end, because we had a bunch of people come towards the end, and I think towards the end we had like 40. Because I know, like I bought
like 30 signatures on my poster.
Yeah, when we did the reservation, there was like 34 or 37, something like that, and then there was a group of people that came towards the end. There was like a group of like 6 or 7 that came towards the end.
How many people did you have at the Fountain of Youth?
100 and something.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because we were expecting like 30 people RSVP'd. And that's what me and John were counting on. We had set up for like 30 or 40 people. We figured like 30 plus one for each, so maybe we'll have 60. And it was close to 100. It was crazy. We were not prepared. And right now we have, I don't know how 40 something have confirmed for New York. So I'm expecting 100. I don't know.
Well,
we'll see.
How many from New Orleans showed up when you guys went there?
Oh God, there was only like 25, but the city had just shut down. So there were less people showed up than had RSVP'd. And most of the people, like the locals, only a couple of the locals came out. It was mostly the people who had traveled from other states and who couldn't get out of their trips were the ones that showed up. So who knows? It'll be fun. We only got a few more minutes left on Sunday Funday, guys. Is there anything you guys wanted to talk about?
Not really, boss. You covered a lot of it.
I try.
What cask do we never talk about?
What?
What cask do we never talk about?
Montreal.
That's because I know nothing about
I know
Montreal.
nothing about Montreal. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah.
Why? Did somebody say something about us not talking
No,
about
I just like.
Good
I
question.
just-
No, you always hear them talk about San Fran, saying that so your place, Milwaukee,
Yeah.
and Rono maybe, and then everything else is.
I still can't believe there was a cask in Cleveland. That just still blows my mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like the Montreal thing is there are active people who deal with just about every one of the cities except Montreal, and we don't have anyone in Montreal that continuously stays active publicly. So, and it's so far away from everything. Like, I don't know. And most of a lot of it's just known, like, and it's known in a way where it's not really refutable. So until somebody digs up a cast, I don't want to say there's not a lot to talk about, but there's not a lot I can.
It's kites, but no. Never mind. That's just opinion. Just opinion.
Canada for a year, so you couldn't go across the border, so that hurt for last year, COVID.
Mike says we never talk about the St. Louis cask. That's true.
There is a reason for that.
St. Louis. You don't talk about Minneapolis one either, but that's all right. Oh my God.
Anyway. I can't imagine, like, when you say that you can't imagine there was a cask in Cleveland, if I'm thinking 80s timeline and like populated cities in the 80s, I can't believe there's not a cask in Detroit. Like, Detroit seems like the perfect place in the 80s to put a cask.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't believe there's not a cask there. I can't believe he would choose St. Augustine and not Detroit. Yeah.
I can't believe there's one not in Washington, D.C., and I can't believe there's not one in Pennsylvania. So.
Yeah.
He had to be in his mind, I guess, to figure out where he wanted to do it. I don't know.
And then there's 2/3 of the country out west that doesn't have one. So.
Yeah. You only got one, Matt. Like, if yours gets pulled up, you're screwed.
I know. So I'm making plans to go to Houston. So.
You just pull
and
two
then
of
after
them
that,
up.
I'll go to New York.
Pull two of them up in one. Yeah, you should come to New York.
Usually they dug up the park, didn't they, in Houston? Didn't they just dug it up last year?
They've dug up a lot of it, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't dig up all of it.
Yeah.
But, oh, well, guys, okay. So when are you going to do this next there, big guy? Every Sunday or what?
Yeah, we do it every Sunday. And it's just like I don't know. It's a way. I felt like the community doesn't come together and just bullshit, I guess, enough. So I figured every Sunday we would just get together and just do this. We would just talk about whatever, even if it's not the secret.
Well, it's all around the secret. That's what life is. Our life is part of the secret, so you want to talk about parts of our lives too. That's all the same. So, but it was nice to meet you, Matt, and lie. Like I said,
definitely.
Because you go back like 3 years ago, I talked to you back and forth for a long time.
Actually, I do remember. So now that I was like, oh yes, of course. So,
but it's a small world in a big world, like Disney World would say, it's a small world after all.
Yep.
All right. Well, then I guess we will end Sunday Funday. Does anybody have any closing remarks? Anything you want to say? Steve, you want to say bye to everybody?
Goodbye. Stay safe and healthy.
All right, guys. I'm gonna just end the room because we're not actually doing a broadcast, so I'm just gonna end the room. Later, everybody. Have a good week.